Well, nationwide, the chance of someone surviving a heart attack is 5%. But thanks to modern technology, there are devices now that can jumpstart your heart.
It's equipment that can buy enough time for the ambulance to arrive, but as our Nick Perot explains, they're not always available where they're needed.
You've probably walked right by them before and never known it. Known that this device on the wall, an automatic external defibrillator, could just save your life.
So basically, the electrodes are applied to the chest, and through these electrodes, electrical impulses are sensed by the machine.
And can tell you if your heart rhythm is normal or if you need a shock. But there's one big concern for doctors.
So we found that there was a mismatch between where the cardiac arrests were actually happening and where we'd put a lot of effort into placing AEDs.
After 4 years of research, lead investigator Dr. Stephen Brooks found these 5 places. Racetracks, casinos, hotels, shelters, and convention centers had the highest number of heart attacks, but had very few AEDs. So why would places with so many people not have a device that could be crucial to saving a life?
So there is definitely a cost issue. You know, not every business or community group can afford one of these things.
An automatic defibrillator can range from about $1,000 to $2,000, which doesn't include the cost of training employees on how to use them.
To date, most of the effort to put these things out there has been based on, common sense and based on some high-profile tragedies that have happened, for instance, in schools.
Schools are among one of the places Brooks' research shows has a fair amount of AEDs, but are at little chance of ever having to use them. We did our own study focusing on some popular places around mid-Michigan. While Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant has over a dozen, Schwartz Creek Racetrack doesn't have any. Meridian Mall, Lansing's YMCA, and the Kellogg Center all have at least one.
The device is made for, honestly, for a 5-year-old to actually use it.
Attach defib pads to patient's bare chest.
Because the machine literally talks to you and tells you what to do for each step.
The Lansing Center has 2 with a third nearby at Cooley Law School Stadium. Fortunately, Vice President of Operations Tristan Reitmeyer says they've never had to use them.
We don't have any AEDs here.
But Patrick Patterson at Lansing's Volunteers of America Homeless Shelter says that's partly because Fire Station 1 is a block down the road.
To train our staff to even life support standard would be substantial outside of the equipment costs and training of our staff.
But Patterson says if the VOA was further from the station, they'd have an AED for sure.
It's a terrific idea. I'm not sure why it hasn't spread faster.
Dr. Brooks says it's all about getting the information out there, which is now one of his top priorities.
I'm planning on writing up a brief of this article and a couple other pieces we've published and trying to get it to policymakers, to decision makers.
People who can get these devices in the right hands to avoid adding to a growing statistic.
And Nick, looking around the area here, you wish that they could be everywhere, but why some places do they have them and other places don't?
Well, a lot, as you guys heard in that story, has to do with cost. Dr. Brooks, again, from Ontario, said that a lot of the studies in Ontario, as well as here in the U.S., say it comes down to grants. A lot of grants, a lot of charitable donations are where you find them in schools and jails where they don't necessarily need them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what about the places that you came across that did really require them, want them, but didn't have them?
Definitely. Well, talking with the VOA, something Patrick Patterson said he will look into. Talking with the Lansing Center and the YMCA that have a few, as we highlighted in this story, they said they're looking into getting some more. So the big thing here is getting the information out. They are out there for you, and that's kind of the whole gist of this story.
Certainly are lifesavers.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Thanks, Nick.
Well, part of the Affordable Care Act mandates that doctors go digital, but